Okay, so I've seen a few places online talking about curlable business cards. The idea is that you can use curl, which is a command line utility to fetch things. You can use curl to fetch a business card. So I'll show you what that looks like here. So I have curl and then some URL. In this case, it's businesscardtomontheinternet.com. So that's my website. And then you end up with something like this. So it's a business card in the terminal. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it today. Okay, so how does this work? Well, it actually turns out it's very, very simple. We've got a single file here, which is called index.html. The HTML part is important, and we'll dig into why that is. But I promise you, it's not real HTML. So let's look at it right here. This is the contents of the file. So if you know anything about HTML, you'll know that this is not real HTML. So if I try and, so let me actually just first serve this thing up. Okay, so I'm serving it on a local port here, right? So if I curl localhost 5000, okay, I'm getting that business card. But if I try and actually take a look at this thing here using a web browser, it looks all messed up here. Okay, so the reason is that this is not actually valid HTML. But curl doesn't really care if things are valid HTML. It's just going to spit out the contents of the file. Okay, so then why did I even bother calling it index.html if it's not real HTML? The reason is that most web servers are configured to automatically, if you hit a directory, right, so slash, it will look for a file called index.html and then return that to you. So instead of setting up a server to do more complicated logic saying, okay, return this file, I just have it returning the HTML file every time. Okay, I want to get this off my screen because it looks terrible. And there we go. That's the nice one again. So again, because it's not HTML, but we are saying that it's HTML, this has actually caused me a few issues. Because if I use Vim to edit this thing, right? So if I use Vim to edit my index.html, I have a formatter set up to format every time I save the document. But if I run my formatter on this thing, like this, it's going to try and format it as HTML and the entire thing gets wrecked. So let's quit out of here. I'm going to stash those changes because I don't want them anymore. I guess I didn't have any changes. So what I did instead is I used the actual just Vim that's built in instead of NeoVim and edit it that way. So there's no formatter here. So none of my nice configurations, but at least that way my formatter doesn't go on automatically. Okay, so what is this thing if it's not HTML? Well, it's just a bunch of ASCII characters that I've put into a text file. So most of this will look pretty simple to you, but you might look at this and say, what is that? Okay, well, what I've done here is I've gone to a website. There's hundreds of these websites where you type in some text and it will give you some characters. So if I say, hello, guys, something like that, it'll give me ASCII characters that look like hello guys. Sometimes it looks like hello guys, sometimes looks like nothing at all, like that barely looks like anything. But you get the idea. So then I would just copy that and paste it into this file. So this is just a text file. Okay, so once I save that, again I can cat it out here. So that's all it is, it's a text file, and then all I have to do is host it somewhere. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. Locally, I'm just hosting it with a web server. Right, so it's saying, okay, we're hosting it right here. If somebody else was on my network, they could access it through this point, but nobody really is. And that's how I'm able to do curl localhost 5000. Okay, then the next thing is that I need to take this and actually put it onto a web server. I'm not going to get into how to do that. That's beyond the scope of this, but I have done that. So if you go to tomontheinternet.com, you'll see there's me. I pop up like that, and then I put the command right here, curl, and then the URL to access it. Okay, but again, if you just try and access this with a web browser, it's going to break because the browser now is going to say, this is not HTML. I don't know what to do with this. In fact, here I haven't even specified the encoding, so it doesn't work at all. Okay, so once more, just to run through the entire thing, what is happening when I run this command? I am curling to this online directory. The web server that is set up there through AWS is looking into the directory and saying, well, I've got index.html. They haven't specified a file, So I guess I'll serve that. And then they serve it back to me as HTML. But curl doesn't do any formatting, right? It would just show HTML tags if they were actually in there. So it actually looks okay in the terminal. But if you try and look at it through some kind of rendering engine or some browsing engine, the whole thing will just fall apart. Okay, so the one difference between what I'm doing and what I've seen other people doing is other people have a command where you curl something and then you pipe it to sh, which is going to run things in the shell. And when people are making these videos or writing tutorials, they'll often say, yeah, I know this is bad practice. And I actually have a video on evil sudo, a command I made that can, well, it can do a lot of bad things, but basically all it does is it just breaks your sudo command and it doesn't need root privileges. So I don't think a lot of people are going to want to pipe things to sh just from your random website. Now, if you do pipe things to sh, then you can get nice colors. You can do things like that that you can't get with curl. But just using curl, I think is a little bit cleaner because people aren't worried you're going to take over the system. They should be worried about that. Okay, if you can think of a way to make this better or if I'm doing something wrong, let me know. Always looking to learn. Have a good day.